Eat it. Oxygen. While we
Don't forget to follow Grit Daily News as well as me, your host, Loralyn Mears, everywhere on social media. And how about throwing 4 or 5 stars our way if you're listening to Apple or Spotify?
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Grit Files here, sponsored by Grit Daily News. I am your host, Loralyn Mears, and today we've got a very special guest. Well, you know, every week the guests are special, but this is a special topic that has really taken a toll on the world, but no more specifically of a harder toll than on the people of Ukraine. And Yulia Mamonova comes to us from Lemon.io, which is a really innovative platform. And I must say, one of the best websites I've ever seen on the internet, talking and connecting developers with potential clients. And she is the voice of Lemon.io, representing all of their blogging and communications content. So with that, let's welcome Yulia. Hi, Yulia.
Hi, Loralyn. It's really nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, we're always happy, especially anybody that's doing something really interesting, and you've got a fantastic platform. Everybody needs software developers. There's just not enough of them. And as someone who's worked on all of the different freelancer platforms, it's nice to see these new ones constantly emerging and doing things better than the other ones. So first of all, talk to our audience about where you are currently sitting. Let our audience know that you're safe. And let's get into a little bit of what your colleagues are unfortunately experiencing in the Ukraine.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm currently living in Israel. We moved here 4 years ago with my husband because he has Jewish roots. So for us, it was like a dream come true. We always wanted to live among Jewish people. That's part of our culture. But unfortunately, my colleagues are mostly now scattered throughout Ukraine. Some of them are abroad, but they are in Ukraine. And they are, well, some of my team members are in the, what we call them hotspots, like the cities that are currently under Russian forces, and they are going through horrible times. Our company is helping to evacuate them and to take them to a safe place, but it's not always possible because like the Russian troops are not letting the humanitarian like corridors, like they don't let them go through that. So most of my team is safe, but there are people that we are worried about, and it's really difficult to see what they're going through.
As someone whose grandparents are from Ukraine, and having been watching the atrocities on the news like everybody else has, it's mind-boggling. And what's even I find more upsetting is that some of the major newspapers, after about 7-8 days, they stopped featuring it as the headline story. It's like, oh, people don't want any more negative news. Let's just not talk about that war of bloody aggression. It's over there, right? Yeah. And I'm mortified, like where humanity is going with this. And we're not going to make this a political webinar, but I just wanted to get your views and perspectives on what it's really like as you're directly connected with people who are on the inside and fighting to get out.
My father is actually, he has joined Ukrainian Defense Forces. So right now he's in a hotspot somewhere in the northeast of Ukraine. He's not allowed to share details, so that's all I know about him. And I only get to talk to him every once in 5 days. He would just send me a message that he's alive. So that's all I know about my father. But he's not a professional military person. He just couldn't stand idly by watching how invaders come over and do horrible things to civilians, to children, to women, to defenseless, to those who are most defenseless. So he joined the forces, and so it's really close to my heart. It's not just like a hypothetical situation. It's something that is very, very raw and painful. And also my CMO, Eugene Lata, he is also in Ukrainian Defense Forces. He's helping in the south of Ukraine, in in Odessa region. He's safe for now, but they also started bombing Odessa right now. So it's like safe is a very relevant word right now in Ukraine. His is not occupied, but it's still not very, it's not safe as much as we want it to be. But yeah, the good thing is that I've seen through these difficult times, I've seen so many inspiring things about Ukrainians that help me go through it with, like every day. I've seen that a lot of companies, they are supporting and they keep paying salaries to all those who decided to join Ukrainian Defense Forces. So for instance, my company is paying full salary to our CMO and another developer that joined our army and went to defend our country. So we are paying their salary in full, even though they're not here working. They're doing the most important job there is. I've seen a lot of companies and just civilians volunteering and doing incredible things. I know that a lot of my friends, they are helping evacuate people from the hotspots, from under those occupied cities. They're risking their lives just trying to get people to safe places. And I know dozens of people, and they're incredible. And I know I've never seen Ukrainians as united as they are right now. And they are donating, volunteering day and night, and they keep working, which is also very inspiring to me. That I knew that we are a very strong and resilient nation, but right now it strikes me how much that is true about us. And I think all of the Ukrainians that can work are working. And it is like our new reality that sometimes we would have to pause our meeting because one of the team members has to go to the shelter to hide because the sirens are going off. But we are we're still working, we're here, and we're determined to keep Ukraine afloat, not to let it sink because of all the bad things Russians are doing in my country. So yeah, I think that's very inspiring.
It's just, I guess that's the only way to try to do this, is to try to find some silver linings and bright spots in something that is otherwise horrible. Like you say, that notion of safety, well, I think that goes out the window when you talk about people at their most vulnerable. Who can be more vulnerable than a woman at the time she's given birth? And that safety was denied of her. I mean, you can't stoop lower.
No. Yeah, it's like with every new day, we get to open new doors to more horrible things, because our defense forces are liberating new cities that were under occupation, and now they're seeing these horrible scenes of people with their hands tied, shot dead in their head, and they're just scattered all over the streets. No one even cared, the occupants didn't even care to bury them. They were just, it feels like it's like a concentrated evil. I can't find a word to describe what I feel when I look at these scenes and what I think of the people that did that to my people, to defenseless, unarmed kids. It's just really, it's really heartbreaking to see that happening. But yeah.
And like I say, this just in the nature of this podcast, it's, this is a place we haven't gone before. We've spoken with several other women who have been victimized by Asian hate and other prejudices and things, but this is a whole other level of atrocity that unfortunately the world has to have a reckoning with, and particularly the people of Ukraine. So what are the ways and things that we can do to be able to support Ukraine right now?
I think that one of the most important things to do for Ukraine right now is help its army, because when they are fully equipped and they know that they have all our support, they can defend us. And this way we can prevent so many new atrocities. We can prevent so many new lives taken, houses destroyed. So many people don't have a home anymore. My friends have nowhere to go to. They are right now in the west of Ukraine or in Poland. Poland, by the way, is my favorite place on earth right now. They've been so incredibly kind to Ukrainians, and it's just unprecedented to be so amazing. So yeah, just head off to Polish people. But my friends have nowhere to go back. They don't have a home, and in order for that to not happen to other cities, I think one of the most important ways people can help is help us equip and support our army, and support Ukrainians financially through some local charities, not through some big like American Red Cross or any other, like big international organizations, but through some local ones that can address specific needs of specific people without paying for, comfortable offices and everything else. So like I know quite a few of such charities, and me and my husband were donating everything we have to these charities just to help people in need right now. So I think those would be the most important ways to help Ukraine right now.
In the podcast briefing notes, what we'll do is, if you'd be willing to send us a few links of trusted Ukrainian charities that people can make contributions to, I think that would be wonderful. And not that this subject, like I said, it's a challenging podcast, right? We're here to talk about founders, we're here to talk about people with an entrepreneurial spirit, and yet how do you move forward in all of this? And maybe this is probably putting you as a writer at the apex of your ability to find resilience, dig in, and still try to be creative, given everything that's going on to your coworkers and family members, your father who's fighting to support Ukraine. How do you dig in and find that creative juice to keep it going? What do you do, Yulia?
I would say that I found out that wrath is a very productive emotion for me right now. I feel it's not anger anymore, it's wrath, what I feel. And so it really helps me stay motivated, no matter how odd that might sound. But just the feeling of so much unfairness happening to my Ukraine gives me so much desire to help rebuild it and to help support it financially by bringing in new clients, by making more companies in Ukraine succeed. I think that would be one of the things that help me keep my creative juice flowing. I know that maybe any other time this would sound crazy even to me, but I noticed that's what helps keep working and be productive. And also, I think I understand the need and importance of me working and supporting my company, because I know that Lemonio is a place and the primary income source for many, many people, including my colleagues and our freelance developers. And so I feel responsible to help them have a job at this, amid all this turmoil. I want them to have a job, so that would be one thing they didn't have to worry about. And so whenever I feel like I'm discouraged or I'm emotionally drained, I think of those people, and I feel like I'm in a safe place right now, and I can do so many things to help promote my company so that a lot of people would have bread and butter and roof over their head. So I think I had to reevaluate all my values and my attitude to work. Before, it was something about being successful and becoming the best content writer or whatever I could be in my profession. But right now it's more about responsibility over the lives of other people that I can help with what I'm doing.
Well, it's easy to shift into that place, right, where it's a matter of we, not I anymore, because you're united by such a dramatic set of consequences that there's no opportunity for anyone to stand alone, right? You do have to be united and find a way to make things forward as we. And I
Yeah,
guess that's
that's true.
that's the shift that you're talking about. So let's talk a little bit about lemon.io, because there are numerous developer platforms out there, right? All kinds of things, and from TopTal, Upwork, Freelancer, Fiverr. I mean, I just named 4 off the top of my head.
Mhm.
I'm sure if I thought about it, I could probably come up with 5 or 6 more. So
Yeah.
let's be a little creative and have some fun here. You're a content marketeer, as am I. We're creatives. Let's figure out a way to elevate this. So if you were to explain to me, and
Mhm.
I'm an alien, I just landed on planet Earth in your house, and you're saying lemon.io, because like the website says, we're not a software development company, we're not a dev shop, we're not a head shop, we're not a well, what are you? Explain it to me. I'm an alien and I'm really confused. What is lemon.io?
I think to an alien, our company would be very close. Because we call ourselves, like the place for developers, we call it Lemonverse. And we try to play around with this Illuminati and like, I don't know how to explain it, like an atmosphere, to create an atmosphere for developers that they would feel like they're very unique and very cared for and very special. It's just that our whole tone of voice is kind of ironic and bold and very edgy. And we mentioned, yeah, I think we're playing on the edge of, oh, I don't know how to explain that. I'm sorry, just shifting from Ukraine to Lemonio was really hard for me. Yeah. So I would say that Yulian, and you need me to explain what Lemonio is. It's a place for mighty developers find an incredible customer to work for, an overlord to serve to, since you're an alien. And what is unique about us is that this alien, as an alien, you wouldn't have to promote yourself or to prove anything to this overlord, just because we're in the middle and we have a relationship with this overlord. We know him or her. We've put them on trial. We've asked important questions. We made sure they're worthy of your services. And so now we're just here to make sure that we make a perfect match between the alien and the person they're going to work for. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, I like that. Like I said, and I realize that I'm sensitive to just the nature of the topics that we're talking to, and it, how it is so deeply personal for you. And I'm trying to balance and be sensitive to that, but also give our listeners not only some direct insights, none of this is filtered. It's not fake news. It's not any of that they can hear it directly and then judge for themselves, but also to give inspiration, right? And to say how people can do things that are actionable, right? These are the outcomes that we want to see. So, okay, so lemon.io, and like I said, like I love your website. The little caricatures and everything are completely wackadoodle. Like it's so fun and edgy, and I embrace brands that do that. So I really love that. Now, talking about the company as a whole then, and talk to us about where the developers are being sourced from, like how lemon.io is growing and how this is a growing community in need, because developers are pretty much in short supply. Over here, they're making jokes where they say there's only one criteria to hire. And people put their hands, their fingers up to the neck to the AOR and go, is there a pulse? Yeah, you're hired, right? Because it's such a need.
Yeah. Well, we are sourcing developers mostly from Ukraine because Ukraine, it is a great time to be a software developer in Ukraine right now. I think they're making at least 10 times as much as an average Ukrainian, no matter what else he's doing. Either he's in marketing or he's just, a salesperson. Software developers are, they are sought after. And we have a lot of people like switch from other professions to become a software developer. Ukrainians, I think they've become a source for many of software development for many other Western countries, clients from Western countries. So it's great time. It's really very a popular choice among Ukrainians to become a developer. Well, previously, before war, we hired mostly Ukrainian developers because we found that since people don't want to pay much for anything, and Ukrainians, their salaries are lower than those of software developers in Europe or in the USA. It was like a great quality and rate ratio, so we could sell them easily. Right now, because a lot of the developers are not in safe places and they cannot cross borders because men cannot leave Ukraine right now. We've opened up to several new countries, and among those are Romania, Poland, Bulgaria, Moldova, and other Eastern European countries. So we're sourcing developers from there too. And they are within our price range. So they're very close to Ukrainian price ranges, and they offer the same great quality. So we are now expanding our market to offer developers from those countries too. Before war, we said that our main goal for this year, for 2022, would be to become a primary source of income for 1,000 developers. And it was we were we were planning on having at least 40% of those developers to be from Ukraine, and the rest would be from other Eastern European countries. But now we are hoping to have maybe even more Eastern European countries until the war is over and more Ukrainians feel safe and can, jump right in and start a project, because our clients usually come with a, urgent need. They need a developer yesterday. So we're trying to, find developers that would be able to jump right in right now.
Gotcha. And I have worked with several Ukrainian developers. They've built our prototype, they've built our MVP, and then now they've built our framework. So we've worked with a lot of the very, very high caliber of software engineering quality, documentation, all of that stuff. We've been enormously impressed. Moving on. So again, just as we're working towards the end of our podcast here. So one of the things that our audience is always curious about is the path that people took. And if they could go back and undo things. So if I gave you an undo button, Yulia, and on your path to being this content marketer, what would you have done differently?
I'm not sure there is something I would do differently, because every step of the way was very helpful to me right now. Even I used to work as an English teacher I used to work even at a preschool, not as an English teacher, just as a teacher at a preschool for and Montessori International School, and it is helpful to me right now because I learned how to explain to a 5-year-old different difficult concepts. So to me, as a marketer, content marketer right now, it helps because I already have experience in that, and right now explaining things very simply is I have experience. I think everything I did on my path was moving towards content marketing. So I don't think there would be anything I would change. Probably I wouldn't work as a support manager because I had night shifts, and it was, there was probably one position that was completely irrelevant to what I'm doing right now. But the rest, I feel like they've helped me grow. And it was every step was a very logical step for me to keep growing in my profession. So, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. And then because, of course, you are a content marketeer, this is a question I like to ask the creatives that come to our show. If you were going to write a headline, Yulia Mamonova, ... what is your headline? What do you want your headline to be? Either describing where you are now or aspirationally where you're headed.
Yeah, it's a very good question. I've never thought about it. I think one thing that immediately comes to mind, it's not really profession related, but I would say Yulia Mamonova lived her life well and meaningful. I think that's what is important to me. So every job that I have and everything I do in my life, it's important for me that it makes sense and that I bring meaning and that I help other people. It might sound cliche, but I think it's the first thing that comes to mind. It's really important to me not to regret anything I did, and not to think that I've wasted my life and I didn't have impact, and I didn't have a chance to help someone change their life. I think that would be it.
Well said. And I can't imagine any more higher calling now than getting the word out about lemon.io to help the developers in the Ukraine and help to just bring not only awareness, but money and food on the table through money and through access and through means to continue to support the Ukraine as it will emerge from this horror one day and then move and rebuild, right? And rebuild back better. That is what we are all wishing for. So last question here. This one is fun. Not that some of the other questions haven't already been fun about your headline and whatnot, but this one's really fun. So I always like to ask people, if I got a peek into your closet and there was a pair of footwear there that spoke to us about your personality, it embodied and personified who you are, Yulia Mamonova, content marketeer for Lemon.io. What is that footwear we're looking at and why does it represent who you are?
I think my thrifted Nike shoes, because I would say that I'm always ready to jump right in. I think it says something about my personality, that I'm always up for a new challenge and I'm always ready, and I have them ready by the door to just jump right in and do something new and exciting. So I think, my thrifted Nike shoes would be, a perfect answer to that question. And also they're thrifted because I'm not really materialized, especially after the recent events and the war in Ukraine. I think things just lost their meaning and it's not important anymore. So I think that is also an important part of.
I can see you in your thrifted Nikes right now. And it sounds like the perfect fit. So with that, I want to say thank you very much, Yulia Mamonova, content marketeer and voice of Lemon.io. And for all of you listeners out there, hear what she's saying. Take a look at the links we're going to provide in the podcast briefing notes. And if it is within your ability to influence, drive the truth, share the truth, and support Ukraine, please do in any way that you can. Thank you, Yulia, for being willing to come on the show, given everything that's going on.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
And how about that fantastic intro by Touch Circle?